to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today I have a simple treat for you, but I think you're going to really enjoy it, and I think it would complement any dinner party that you may be having, because it's a real simple dessert to make, but it's a very good dessert. Today we're going to be doing apple rose pastries. Now that's real simple to do, and all you're going to need for that is your favorite apple. I'm using a green apple because I like Granny Smith apple, but in order for this to look like a rose, you really should use a red apple, and it really doesn't matter what red apple you use, whichever one that suits you. Just make certain that it's a baking apple. So you're going to need apples, you're going to need puff pastry sheets, and I'm going to do this two ways. One, you're going to need, this is going to be softened cream cheese. I haven't softened it yet because we haven't gotten to that stage. You're going to need some sugar, and the amount of sugar would depend on how many apples you're actually going to try to bake. I'm going to try to do 12 roses. You're going to need some cinnamon, and you're going to need some apricot jam. Now, in some of them, it will only be the apples, the cinnamon, and the apricot jam. In others, it will be the apples, the cinnamon, the sugar, and the cream cheese. Okay, so that's real simple. Now I'm going to need some water and some lemon juice, so I have this bowl sitting over to the side, and we're going to microwave these for roughly about 3 minutes, and then we're going to come back and put this dessert together. Now I want to show you how to cut up your apple. Like I told you, I like a tart green apple, so this is the one that I'm using. You're going to split your apple down the center, and then you're going to take, if you want to use your apple core, feel free to use your apple core. What you don't want to do is to cut this apple all the way through. So you're going to take out that little centerpiece there. I'm going to take that out. Okay? Now, once I take that out, this is what I have left. Okay? I've decored it, and I just got my half of apple left. I'm going to do the other side. You split it down the middle. Then you go in the center and you take that out. But you can use your apple core if it'll go straight through your apple. If it won't go straight through your apple, then don't even chance it. What you don't want to do is to crack this apple on the back side. Now, I'm going to show you this before I go away. Roughly, I'm going to make very small slices, okay? You want them to be very thin. You don't want them to be thick, because if they're thick, it's going to be too hard for you to get this rose to stay together. So you want to make very thin slices. Okay? Now, take a look at my slices, how thin they are. See? That's the back side, and that would be the whole apple. Now, the reason why we're going to put this in some water and some lemon juice is because we want this to be bendable. And the way we're going to get it bendable is to soften it up a little bit, and that's by putting it in the microwave. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go away. I'm going to finish cutting up these apples, and when I get ready to put it into the microwave, I'll be right back. Be right back. Now, I'm back. You won't need probably but 2 apples. You may even get away with just 1 apple. But I'm trying to make 12. I'm trying to fill my muffin tin with 12. So that's why I have 3 apples. Now, here I have 2 cups of water. So I'm going to pour a half of cup of water, and I'm going to add some lemon juice. Now you only need like 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, but I'm only going to use 1 tablespoon, and the reason for that is because I'm dealing with a Granny Smith apple, and a Granny Smith apple, as you know, it's already tart. So I don't really need to add as much lemon juice as the average person would add. And then I'm going to mix this up. Now that lemon juice is going to help to tart up your apple, and it would really keep it from turning brown. But because I'm going to put this in the oven, mine are going to turn a little bit brown anyway. I'm sorry, I'm going to put it in my microwave. Mine is going to turn a little bit brown anyway. So this is going to go into the microwave for 3 minutes. And once I take it out, I'll be right back. Now, as you can see, I only have like a cup of water in there. If you feel like you need more water, you can go ahead and add it. But the more water you add, the more lemon juice you're going to need to add. So we're talking about roughly about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice per 1 cup of water. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, Okay, now we're back and I'm going to put this together, but I want to show you these apples first. This is why you put your apples into the microwave for 3 minutes. Look at that apple. See, now I'm able to bend that apple because it's cut thin and I've heated it just a little bit. I'm able to bend it. So now I'm going to take my puff pastry out of the package. And I'm going to be using all of mine, so I'll just slip this on open. Okay. And it has like these perforated sheets in it. Okay. Or it has these sheets that makes it, you know, it's still together. So I'm going to put down a little bit of flour on my on my cutting board. I want to tell you something about this cutting board too. I guess I give myself a plug here. This is the best cutting board that I've used, and this is sold on my site. See, this cutting board is flexible. That is the best cutting board that I have used, and I truly do. I love them to death. And they're sold on my site at chriscookforyouTube.net. Okay? Now I'm going to open this out, put just a little bit more flour down here. But if you go over there, I think you might see something that you want, but I know you're going to love these cutting boards because you don't have to do all of that washing. Okay, now I'm going to open this out. And sometimes if it's had a chance to just thaw, or if it's not as cold as it was, because I took this out a minute ago, then your paper will pull with it. Now, you can flatten this out with your hand, or you can use your rolling pin, and I have my rolling pin right here. So, I'm just going to flatten it out just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, now what I want to do with this is I want to try and get 4 pieces out of this. And you can just use, I want to use like 4, I want to get 4 2-inch pieces out of this. So, I'm going to cut it here. That's 1 strip. I'm going to cut it here. That would be a 2nd strip there. And I'm going to take this last piece and I'm just going to cut it in half. So that would be 3 and 4. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you how to put this together. And then I'm going to go away and I'm going to put all of mine together. And then I'll come back. I told you I was going to make 2 kinds. So the first kind, just took a little flour off. The first kind I'm going to do is apricot. So I took a little bit of my apricot jelly and I heated it up, or these are apricot preserves. And I heated it up in my microwave. So I'm going to take some apricot preserves. And this is going to be my sweetener, because for this one I'm not going to use any sugar. This is my sugar. Okay? That's just my oven. You're going to bake this off in your oven at 375 for roughly about 40 minutes. And that's what you just heard was my oven. Okay, now once I get the apricot jam down, then I'm going to take my apples and I'm going to put my apples all the way down on this. Okay? Now, you can make yours a little bit closer than I'm making mine, but I got roughly a long ways to go with 3 apples. And I want to make certain that I get where I'm trying to go. Okay? Now, when I get all the way to the end, that should be enough to make a rose. There's nothing else I'm going to put on this except for some cinnamon. And you know cinnamon and apples go good together. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on my dough, and I'm going to sprinkle some cinnamon on my apples. Now once you've done that, you're going to fold this over. But don't fold it all the way up to cover the apples, okay? You're going to fold it like halfway the apples, okay? And then you're going to roll it. Okay? continue to roll and fold, roll and fold, roll and fold. Now, once you get this all rolled up, okay, you're going to take it and you're going to place it into your baking sheet, okay, or however, wherever you're going to bake it. I'm baking mine in my muffin tin, so you would place it right there. So I'll show you one more with this. And then I'll show you how I'm going to do the other ones as well. Okay, now when I have just enough jelly, what I think is enough preserves rather to sweeten my apples, because I'm not using anything else to sweeten my apples except for this. Then I'm going to go ahead and place my apples on top of that. Okay. That one's very small. So there. Okay, now once I get my apples all on top of this, then I'm going to fold this over, not covering up the end of my apples, okay? I'm going to leave the end of my apples exposed, and then I'm going to roll it up, okay? And you might have to push just a little bit, because keep in mind my dough, okay, the dough that I'm using, it is a little bit thawed, okay? So once I get this all rolled up, then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in my baking sheet, okay? Now I'm going to show you how to do this if we're going to use the cream cheese. So now we're going to use the cream cheese. So what we're going to do is make sure your cream cheese is softened. We're going to put a little bit of the cream cheese down on top of my pastry sheet. Then I'm going to take some granulated white sugar, because now I need a sweetener. And I'm going to sprinkle, looks like about a half a tablespoonful, but you can use your own discretion on this, because you know exactly how much you want to put in there. Then I'm going to add some brown sugar. I'm sorry, some cinnamon. Brown sugar, cinnamon. So I don't confuse you, I have the cream cheese, then I have the white sugar, and then I have the cinnamon on top of that. And on top of that, I'm going to go ahead and put my apples down. Now the only thing I'm doing is putting my apples right next to each other. They're kind of overlapping a little bit. But keep in mind, these apples are soft. So this should work very well. Okay. Get one more in here. Move it up a little bit. And add one more. Okay, and you can be versatile with anything that it is that you're cooking. You don't have to. You can use the cream cheese. You can not use the cream cheese. You can use just the sugar and or the apricot jam. Let me see, I can get one more on there. So I'll put one more. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold it up. Okay. Okay, now once I get this all folded up, then I'm going to roll it. And I'm going to keep my apples. One of the good ways, because my dough is soft, okay, I just keep pushing my apples down in place, making certain that they stay inside of this little pocket that I've built for them. Okay, now once I get that done, see it? Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in my baking sheet. Okay, So that's 3. So what I'm going to do is go away. I'm going to finish out this pan. Once I get them all in the pan, then I'll come back and show you the next step. Now on this side, the first 3 sticks, I'm doing this with just the Apricot Preserves. On this side, which will be 9/12, that side, I'm doing this with cream cheese. Now you can do all of yours with just one type of filling. I'm doing mine with 2 types, and I put one on one side and one on the other so I will know. And this is a non-stick pan. So I'll be right back as soon as I get everything all done. Be right back. Now we're back, and I'm just getting ready to put it in the oven. I want to show you how it looks. That took me about 20 minutes in order to get them all done. And I used 3 apples. So for 3 apples, that was roughly 4 pastries per apple. So if you want to use that as a gauge, you can. It was 4 pastries for apples per apple. And remember to cut it thin. And remember, you definitely need to soak it in the water and the lemon juice so you can put it in the microwave. And if you can notice, mine did not turn dark. That's because of the lemon juice. And if you want it to look more like a rose, then you would use a red apple. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go away. I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven for roughly about 40 minutes. Once it gets done, I'll come back and show you what the finished product looks like. And this was very, very easy to do, but this will definitely take your skills to the next level. Be right back. Okay, now I'm going to take these out of the oven. And it is hot. There they are. I can't remove them right now. I have to let them cool for a minute. But that's how they came out. And as soon as they cool, I'll bring them back and I'll show you the finished product. Be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've put 4 on the plate. They're not totally cool, but they're cool enough just for me to show you how I want to dress these 4 up. Here I have 2 on a saucer. And for this particular sauce, I'm going to take some powdered sugar. And I'm just going to sprinkle that all around the plate and on the apples. Like I told you, if you want more color in it, then use you a red apple. And I have just cut this strawberry up. So I'm going to lay that strawberry down. Need to look at what I'm doing. Okay. Lay it down on the plate. And that's one way to serve it. The second way that you can serve it, which is my way of choice, is going to be to scoop out some ice cream and put it down on the plate. Let me get like 2 scoops. Okay. And serve it that way. If you want to top it with just a little bit more sugar, you can. And by dusting it, all I'm doing is just dusting the top of it just a very little bit. Okay, there's 2 ways to serve this rose dessert, this apple rose dessert. One is to serve it with strawberries, another is to serve it with ice cream, or you can just come up with whatever you think works. But this definitely takes your skills to the next level, and I think it would be a fantastic dessert for your significant other or for your children if you just want to have a dessert and then add just a little bit of style to it. So I want to thank you as always for watching Chris Cook For You Too. Don't forget to go over to my site www.chriscookforyou2.net and check out all of the items that I have. Okay? Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.